Okay, let's go ahead and get started here there, folks. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we're going to be getting back into Pega Academy. We have some Unreal studying after that, um, in the hour after that. Um, uh, 1 hour after that, we got some more videos to make public. And then later on tonight, we're going to be doing some Star Rail. Now, normally it's my day for doing Warframe, but because I wasn't able to do anything for Thursday, because, Thursday being Thanksgiving that just recently passed here in the States, um, I didn't do my normal Star Rail stream. And I wanted to I wanted to play some Star Rail, continue with the story along those lines. Um, so that's what's lined up for today. Now, if you're catching this later on YouTube, then I thank you for clicking on this video, and hopefully you will find this series to be informative and helpful, and you will continue to stick around for the continuation of the series. Or, if you want to, go ahead and hand them back to any of the previous videos that I've done so far with the Pega Academy. Um, but let's talk about who I am, why I'm doing this, and what you can expect out of these videos. So, um, well, I'm currently a unemployed software developer whose last job was working with the Pega environment. Now, while I'm looking for any kind of job that I can get a hold of, I figured in the meantime I will continue trying to get my certification. You see, the previous job, me and several others, like about 15 of us or so, um, were all given an authorized training partner to learn about Pega. However, it didn't really go very well. Um, a lot of us were very unhappy with the training program for Pega from the training partner. We pretty much every single last one of us went self-study on it. And um, And just to let it wasn't just us, the students, that were unhappy with what was going on. Even the individual's coworkers knew um, the problems that we were having, and they saw firsthand uh, what was going on. So it wasn't just isolated with us, the students. So don't think that it was just us complaining about a teacher or something along those lines. No, we literally had coworkers see the problems that we were having with the instructor, but nothing happened afterwards. Um, some of us um, asked to be placed back into another training program with a different authorized training partner for Pega, and that never happened. I was forced to take the certification for 8.6, and I knew that I wasn't ready for it, but I was forced to take it. Clearly, I failed. Um, Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing these videos. um, and uh, and instead of putting us back through a training course to ensure that we got the proper kind of training. We had our questions answered, and um, our training partner actually, you know, looked for answers. If they didn't have the answer themselves, then they would, you know, try to find it for us, one would think, but not our training partner. Um, so um, it got to the point where uh, you know, we did what we could to deal with the situation that we had. Um, so now it did fall on my shoulders to continue uh, with the studying afterwards. I was kind of hoping that I would have more of a mentorship or the training, but um, that didn't happen. Was pushed into a contract almost immediately, and um, you know, entered the workforce. And well, um, you know, I kind of hoped that I would have a little bit more in terms of mentorship on the job, but that didn't really work all that well. Um, More often than not, or the what was kind of given to me is pretty much a hands-off approach. Like, they basically said, "Hey, you do what you want to do. If you have any questions, ask us." But that's it. Um, and that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Um, I needed someone to help guide me a little bit more, like be there when I was actually studying and could ask the question like right then and there and get an answer right then and there, so that if I had any additional questions, I could ask. But that never happened. So um, I tried to study as much as I could, but um, I never finished the study session, and therefore I never got the certification, and I was laid off a year afterwards. Um, so, um, so this is my attempt to learn more about the Pega Academy or the Pega environment, so that I can take the certification, I can pass the certification, and I can get my certification so I can put it on my resume and potentially get a job as a Pega system architect. So, um, but that's my um, that's my focus, is to get the system architect certification. Now, um, if you're watching this and you think that I'm an authorized training partner, or I'm instructor-led training, or this is something, somehow sponsored by Pega, it's not. All of those are not true at all. Okay, I'm just someone that's trying to go for the certification themselves. The most interaction that I get with Pega Academy is that I send in a suggestion for them to fix a problem with their topic or with their challenge, and then I might get the occasional reply back saying, "Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead and change that for later versions," or we'll um, um, or we won't modify anything because we feel that your suggestion doesn't hold water. Um, so both of which, it's their, you know, it's totally up to them. The fact that they're actually replying to me is nice. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they're actually willing to reply back to me. I mean, what business does that? Not that many anymore. So, now if you're studying for the business architect, I've already covered all of it. Okay, I've covered the two missions and two modules for 8.7. Now, if you're studying for like the 8.8 or the 23, I don't know what's all included in the business architect for those. So I don't really know. Or if you're like, if maybe you're studying for a later version as well, who knows? Um, I can't help you with that. I can't see into the future. So I only did the 8.7 because it's translated. It has multiple translations for it. So I figured you might as well do that for anybody that is, in a different nation. Maybe they can understand English spoken, but they can't really read it. Um, so maybe they can get some benefit out of that. Okay. Um, so, um, if you are trying to go for the business architect certification, these two modules here are supposedly covering the Pega Express delivery, but I don't feel like it's covers enough. I would recommend that you take and go through the Pega Express delivery and study as much as you can for it because this is 12% of the certification exam for the business architect. So be prepared for it. So, but we're going to continue with the system architect. Now, yesterday, I had to stop early. One, because I came in late for the stream, so, and two, you know, we were having some issues um, with what was going on here. During the task 3 here, okay, you didn't put me in the right spot there. Um, the step 4 was telling you to the right of the select service provider. However, this is not the same as what's being shown here. Okay. Sure, select service provider is there, but it has that underscore service provider as well. If they wanted to show that, then they should have had underscore service provider as well, you know, to the right of this. Okay, they should have that fixed. Okay, because this is leading someone to the wrong location altogether. Because the section rule click structural is not with the select section provider. It is with the select section service provider underscore service provider here. Okay, the image is correct based off of their step 5. Okay, but if you follow the instructions on step 4, it is not. You know, step 5 does not follow along with the instructions here. So remember, if you're going through this challenge, okay, if they have not fixed this yet, okay, then you need to kind of go with the image, not with their instructions. Okay. But we're going to go ahead and finish this off so that, you know, when I clicked on marking the challenge complete 5 days ago, um, you know, I actually want it to count, that I did indeed go through this properly. But obviously, you know, they have some problems here. I've already addressed this to them. I've already mentioned the fact that, these two steps are incorrect. You know, this right here, or this statement here, does not allow for you to continue here. It's only this image here that allows for you to do the step 5. So, alright. Should have woken up the image by now. Yep, there it is. So, we're going to go ahead and finish that, and then we'll move on to um, the next topic. Unless, of course, I run into even more some more problems. Who knows? Okay, now there it goes. Create a new assistance request case and then advance to select service provider step. Now, it doesn't show. Okay, first off, we need to switch over to Dev Studio. And we still have this one that we haven't finished off. That was created yesterday, so let's see if we can still bring it right back up again and continue working on it. Okay, so here's the service provider section. So once again, in the developer toolbar, we don't really, it's toggle live UI, which is right here. That will open up. Then we want to click on the service provider section, which again, the they say service provider, which is the typically the select uh, they said, and they're showing section and cell, okay, but which they're saying section and cell here, but here's the thing, you know the um, the wherever you select is going to be problematic as it is anyway, okay. So when I see, service provider, I think, oh, I'll select that, right? That's the service provider section that they might be referring to because they don't state anything more than that there. I mean, sure, they show the image with the slice service provider underscore service provider there, as well as this image over there. But I mean, when you come right down here on step number 4, once again, it says, in the right pane to the right of select service provider, which is that right there, not this. It says open in Dev Studio. But, no, they don't mean select service provider there. They mean select service provider underscore service provider. So that's what you need to be selecting. That's what you need to open in Dev Studio. Because if you select this one, nowhere in the image does it show the structural. Nowhere in here do they show anything that is considered structural, in step number 5. In the section rule, click structural. Which, again, they talk about section rule. That is a section rule, not a section and cell, but a section. So once again, they're having some problems with their step 5 here. Okay, they should be saying in the section and cell rule, not just their section rule. So, I mean, technically, it's still a section rule, but here's the thing: they still need to label it properly. If they don't label it properly, then you cause confusion. If you cause confusion, you're gonna have people mess up. Okay, you you need to be clear on your instructions when you're passing it on to those that are trying to learn. Um, you know, take for example, um, um, there was a you know if you don't really know, okay, they're using there was a one like $1 billion investment that crash landed on Mars. Okay, everything worked perfectly fine. You know, the launch of the satellite, the sending of the object to Mars, everything's kind of going perfectly fine. But as soon as they dropped, um, the I believe it was meant to be like a drone, if I'm not mistaken. They tried to drop a drone down into Mars. I forget exactly like what its purpose was, but because the construction was done in two different locations, like one was handling the like the parachutes and stuff like that, and another was handling like the like taking the data from the surface, knowing like how close it was. Well, the problem was that um, one location was dealing with imperial units or feet, inches, so on and so forth, where another um, part of the construction was handling it in meters. And because there was a miscommunication there, because they didn't talk with each other about, what unit they were using with each other, um, either the satellite itself didn't, relay the distance properly to like the parachute opening up to save it, or the parachute didn't know, was thinking that there's still plenty of time. We'll open it up in just a short amount of time, and we'll be perfectly fine. And it hit the ground hard, and not. It was pretty much destroyed on impact. So um, now, could they go back there and maybe try to see if they can repair what's there? I mean, maybe. Probably not though. Um, you'd have to send another like team out there to look at the crash site and see what they can do to try to repair it if they can. By the time we get back out there to even consider it, it'd probably be covered up in sand. Who knows? But um, but that's the point. Okay, my point is that because there was a miscommunication about the use of different um, measuring distances, you know, um, they lost a like $1 million-billion project, heading out to Mars. So, um, try not to make those mistakes. You know, be clear as to what you need to do in every single step of the way. Okay? You know, they're not being clear here. So, this isn't the proper this isn't the proper service provider that they wanted you to select. What they wanted you to select, you know, was this one. And then you select the Open Dev Studio here. Because now you have this structural. That's what they're wanting you to go for here. So, in the section rule, click structural, and then click and drag a repeating dynamic layout to the service provider section. So, they said dynamic layout, repeating dynamic layout. Okay, and they need me to drag it to the, well, um, they're only giving me or either top or bottom here, though, folks. Which um, Oh shit. I accidentally closed it. Fuck. Okay, hold on. See how irritating this can be, if it's not done properly. Now I'm having to spend all this time trying to fix this here. Okay. Good thing I didn't close everything down. Okay. Now I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, you can see the one window. Okay, um, so repeating dynamic layout. Let's see. Now my problem is that I want to take a screenshot of this. Um, okay, let me see if I did indeed get the screenshot that I was kind of looking for. Okay, I was. 1 second. I wanna kind of take, I want to take this because, or I want to send this to, um, I want to send this to them because, um, they say in the instructions, um, that, um, then click and drag a repeating dynamic layout to the service provider section. Okay. When I when I look at that, you know, drag a layout to the service provider section, I'm thinking to myself that I need to put it inside this table somewhere. But it didn't do that. It put it outside. You know, it wanted to either put it at the top or wanted to put it at the bottom. I don't know what they wanted me. They don't. They're not showing me here where they want me to place it. Okay. And again, that's a problem with the instructions. So, um, I'm going to go ahead and save this so that I can send it to them and go, okay, where are you guys wanting me to place this? Because I can't clearly place it inside the service provider section. It's either placing it at above or below the table. You know, so um, so I couldn't complete challenge yesterday. The time I had. So I'm going back to it. And in task 3, step 5, I see instructions I've already mentioned that the instructions on step 4 shows a different window which doesn't show structural in a previous suggestion. So no need to repeat that. However, there are still 2 problems with step 5. First, while it is indeed a session rule, it should be labeled clearly as section, what was it, section and section and cell. Because that is what is needing to be selected from step 4. Second problem is that it mentions that you need to place a repeating, or actually, let me just kind of however, when dragging the dynamic layout, it only shows me that I can place the layout above or below the table in question. As shown in attached image. Let me make sure that I get the image in there. It appears as though I'm not placing a layout inside the section if the highlighted bar is showing outside, above, or below the table. So my suggestion is maybe clarify more on the step, because it isn't being very clear on its instructions, which could lead to failures in the challenge. There we go. Okay. Okay, so, oops, get that back up there. All right. Um, let's go back to, let's untoggle that. Let's head on back here because we still have the dynamic layout supposedly added in, even though technically it's not even part of the service provider here. But you know, again, I don't know what we're going to be doing with it, so we'll see what we need to do. So in the repeating dynamic layout header, click View Properties. Okay. So in the header here, there is supposedly a View Properties. Yeah, there it is. You know, typically properties and the cog icon are pretty much synonymous with each other. So, you know, it's, you know, but I don't know. Sometimes they can be very interesting with their descriptions sometimes. Okay. The repeating dynamic layout properties window is displayed, right? In the repeating dynamic layouts properties window, in the list group field, enter or select service provider. Okay, just in case, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So list group, service provider. No, I don't need to build an additional list there, just service provider. That's a new one that they allowed you to add a period onto it and it expanded another list afterwards, but we didn't, you know, they don't want us to do that yet, so we're not going to. Okay, click submit to dismiss the window. Okay, so we're good there apparently. Okay, so it hasn't, you know, it hasn't shown anything else that has really changed other than, you know, what's being shown here in the header. So I'm hoping that it you know did what it needed to do. In the App Explorer, click Options and refresh App Explorer. Um, okay. No, it has to be here. In the App Explorer, click Options and refresh App Explorer. Um, where? Where's options here? Is this what you call an App Explorer? Is this considered an App Explorer? And if so, where's the options? They're showing home and service here. So is it, it's not over here. Um, they need a larger window on this. Is it like maybe here? Uh-uh. Are we having some issues with this? It looks like it froze up here. As though it's having a hard time trying to understand what I'm trying to do at this point. But it's not wanting to do anything. It doesn't want to open up the app here. um, okay. Okay, we did have the App Explorer open at one point in time, so, but it's not wanting to open up the App Explorer at this point for some reason. Okay, so um okay. I'm gonna need to suggest and make another suggestion here. So step 9. Um, uh, on task 3, step 9, when I came back to the um, challenge from yesterday, I didn't have the App Explorer open. Um, Before reselecting the um, assistance request um, um, you know, new request form that was created yesterday. So going through the steps on adding the repeating dynamic layout is done. However, when I try to reopen the App Explorer in order to complete step 9, it doesn't open. Um, Matter of fact, when I click on any of the options on the left, nothing opens. Could it maybe be that we still haven't saved our changes for the session rule? Not sure what is going on here, to be honest. But it seems like I'm gonna have to start at the very beginning of the challenge because I'm already having a lot of issues with this challenge already. Challenge, I need a complete rework and review at this point. If I'm finding this many problems. Okay, well, apparently I can't. It's not opening up in the apps. I can't get the App Explorer back open. It's not letting me there, folks. No matter what I select on here, it is not wanting to open up any windows at all for me right at this moment in time. Again, could it be the fact that we haven't saved anything here yet? I've yet to click on save here. So, um, you know, you you know, they say click submit to dismiss the window. That's great, but we haven't, down here we click save, but maybe we hit save first before we do the whole App Explorer, maybe? I don't know. Um, I have a funny feeling that we're having some issues with this one. So, especially, from step 3 on. Everything else was okay. I didn't really have any problems with the from task 1 and 2. Didn't really have any problems with that, but task 3 is just been problematic. So, they need to fix that. They need to figure out what the heck is going on. Why am I experiencing this kind of thing? Why is the app, you know, why am I being blocked from opening up the app at this point? You know, what is blocking me from getting there at this point? I shouldn't be having this kind of a problem at this point. So, okay, well, they need to troubleshoot more. So, we'll see if I get any kind of um, follow up on this. But I mean, it's currently Saturday right at this moment in time. We're probably gonna redo this again tomorrow. So apologies to anybody that is like trying to follow along with the Pega study session. Obviously, you know, I should have had this entire challenge completed for you on the first day, but that didn't happen. And now I'm already kind of finding all these problems with it. So, I mean, you know, I apologize to you trying to watch it, trying to learn, because now we're, what, um, we're pretty much on day 3 of this challenge. Um, yeah, we're going to be on day 3 of this challenge. I'm going to have to walk back through this entire thing. I'm going to have to do a full reset on it and just go step 1 through all of this just to make sure that I have everything properly opened and stuff like that in order to do what they need me to do. The fact that I can't open up the App Explorer right now, I don't really know what's going on there. That's something weird that's going on with their instance. There's nothing more that I can say about that. So, but that's gonna be it. We're gonna move on to Unreal at this point. My time is up for this, um, so for those of you that are watching this, for setting Pega, again, apologies. Would have liked to have had more, um, but that didn't happen. So we're going to be moving on to day 3 on this particular challenge. And then hopefully the next day we'll have the next topic. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, I gotta go. I gotta end this and move on to my Unreal study session. So I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully, catch you next time. But until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy, stay safe. And I'll catch you strangers next time.